When it comes to financials, the best thing that I can tell you to start is with some sort of budget. Putting together how much money you've spent in the past, putting together what your future financial goals are, seeing where those things balance out. If you are already running a deficit in that you are already spending more money than you are making, you need to make sure you have a plan in place to address that. If you already have a surplus, you are making more money than you're spending, you need to have a plan for what to do with that to make your money continue to work for you. The beauty of this, I am not a financial guru, nor do I play one on TV, so I have nothing to sell you for the purpose of your budget, other than using what you need on a game plan or finding the right person to help you do what you need to do with the extra money. That's where I would start when it comes to anything financial. The next big thing when it comes to financial tips would be financial goals. In essence, having them. From my standpoint, I want to retire to the same lifestyle I currently live or better at the earliest time possible. So right now I have it set up for us to spend a inflation adjusted $150,000, $200,000 a year. So that would be my financial goal. Everything else is built up towards that. So right now I want to live a life that I enjoy with enough buffer to put it in to invest to be able to get those financial goals. Look, in the short term, your financial goals might be paying off all your credit cards. In the short term, your financial goals might be actually making your law firm profitable. In the short term, your financial goals might be having a surplus instead of a deficit. That's fine. But you have to have the goals in mind so you can create the right plan to get there. The next most important thing when it comes to financial tips is having an emergency fund. I have heard from people that emergency fund should be 1 month, should be 2 months, should be 6 months, should be $5,000. I would suggest you have the worst case scenario emergency fund or the one that you are comfortable having. So my emergency fund, 2 to 3 months for us to just get through something crazy happening. But ultimately, for a lot of the emergency funds, we're not talking about needing this on 24 hours notice. That's what a credit card is for most of the time. So that emergency fund could probably sit in a CD, a money market account, something along those lines. But we should all have an emergency fund because God forbid, something happens, something's going to happen. So that would be the thing that I would be budgeting towards first. And then from there, I'd build towards those other financial goals. Make sure you're not acting from a place of scarcity first. The next best thing that I can tell you when it comes to financial tips is investing in you. It is amazing to me. The greatest rates of return I have ever gotten have come with investing in me, whether that's coaching, whether that's training, whether that's a program, whether that's software. That's where I have always seen the best results, especially at the beginning. Investing in yourself is often the best thing you can do. And so when it comes to investing in yourself, I'm looking for the skills, the resources, the certifications that you need to make more money. For me, I have a law degree. That was a huge investment in myself. That law degree gives me a license to print basically unlimited money. When it came time to launching a marketing company, I invested in bringing on the right team who knew the specifics of that stuff better than me. I didn't need a specific certification. I didn't need a degree in marketing to do it. When it came time to launch the coaching, I don't have a coaching certification. A ton of people do. So thinking about what's the investment in you. Now I'm talking about investing in others. I think it's a huge opportunity for you to hire a team around you. I think everybody should have an executive assistant or personal assistant. That's not just financial investment. That's an investment of time and resources. So I have a whole SOP for my executive assistant, and I have a whole training program that I put them through, and I supervise, and we have meetings and whatnot. It's very important if you understand what you want out of any of those, because ultimately, at this point, I can do an hour of training for 10 people at the office who then could do things better for 40 hours every week on, and I can leverage that investment in others. At some point, though, that was hiring my first person. That was buying my first stock. That was putting money in my first mutual fund. At some point, it starts from nothing, and then it builds to the point where there's a ton of leverage. So you have to invest in yourself first. Then you can make smaller investments in others, and then you can grow that to be less reliant. The next one I want to talk about is compound interest. But ultimately, here's the thing about compound interest. You have to get it compounding sooner and earlier, and then for more money. So if you open up a retirement account and you're 20, a lot less money goes a lot farther than if you're 40. Putting in $100 a month at 20 is a lot better than putting in $500 a month at 40. But the benefit of compound interest is seen most the longer you give the time. So think about compound interest as the better you have any of it going, the better, the cooler it is to watch it grow. And yes, there are times where it goes down, the stock market goes down, you lose some money, but over time, the stock market has gone up consistently over time. A bank account, a guaranteed rate of return will go up compound interest over time. Like, these things will snowball to where you need to be. Next, I want to talk about retirement. It's really easy as a law firm owner, or really any small business owner, to put off discussions about retirement. That being said, you need to understand what retirement looks like for you. Is it truly being 100% done and sitting on the couch and watching TV or playing sports or whatever? The more you have that picture in mind, the easier it is to provide for it. Right now, I am booked as my retirement at 55 doing nothing, zero income, nothing else in there, but I am saving money now that will let me retire the way that I want, when I want currently. And if anything changes, I can readdress it from there. So have the idea of retirement in mind. Even if you're not putting any money away for the next 5 years, you can invest it back in yourself, in your business, in others to get to this point, to have the money to invest. But you need to be having the conversation about retirement as soon as possible if you want to live a great life, even if you're not doing anything about it just yet. The next biggest component is insurance. I'm a PI lawyer. I have issues with the way insurance companies work, but guess what? I still have auto insurance. I still have homeowners insurance. I still have a lot of different insurances. So let me be very clear. Insurance is supposed to provide you peace of mind. You are paying an amount of money to be insured against something terrible happening to you, by you, from you, for you, however you want to frame it. As you grow your net worth, you have to protect it the right way. And then ultimately, there's a point where this weird, fat middle that we were talking about from living a great life for financial tips about having the right insurance. Just make sure you're having a really good conversation with somebody really knowledgeable about it, and you are buying the things that you need. Ideally, you will throw money out the window every year for your insurance. Your house will not flood. You won't get into a car accident. You won't get terribly sick. So act accordingly, knowing that at some point those things will happen. And then ultimately that emergency fund we talked about several days ago will help cover. So knowing what your deductible is, being able to cover your deductible on your insurance until the rest of it kicks in becomes really helpful. The next one I want to talk about is tax strategies. It's worth paying for the right advice geared towards you. Let me say that again. It's worth paying for the right advice geared towards you. I am not a tax strategist. I do not play one on TV. I am not the one to tell you a specific tax strategy about renting out your house or whatever. I'm here to tell you that you should, at the point that it makes sense, at the point that you have extra income, at the point that you have that surplus, find somebody who will do your taxes, who will talk you through tax strategies, who will help you implement those things. Because at the end of the day, if I am paying my accountant an extra $5,000 for them to save me $20,000 on taxes, for them to find better credits, for them to give me more money to reinvest in my business, for that to be financially worth it, that's an amazingly good investment. The next one I want to talk about when it comes to financial tips is credit. So credit cards, credit scores. In essence, credit is somebody offering you an amount of money that you don't currently have access to use towards something. But here's the thing that I want to make sure that you're aware of. The more credit that you potentially have access to, the easier it's going to be for you to do whatever you want. If you want to borrow money for a second home, that's going to be easier if you have a higher credit score and access to more credit. If you want to start another business and you need something to finance it, that's going to be a lot easier if you have a great credit score, if you have access to a lot of credit. The less you have access to credit, the harder it's going to be to make any financial decisions. So figuring out what you need to do to have a better credit score is great. There are people that you can pay to do this. You can go online and Google it. You can get free credit scores. Just think about it from the standpoint of access to more credit, even if you don't use it. Having a credit card with a $100,000 limit that you never get close to hitting is better than having a credit card with a $5,000 limit that you never get close to hitting, because if God forbid something happens, you have access to the credit. The next thing, the flip side of credit, is debt. We normally look at debt as a bad thing. I don't think it is. There's some debt that's definitely a bad thing. You need to be aware of what debt you have. You need to be aware of what if it is good and what if it is bad. Some people will tell you if you can borrow money at 8% and you can get 10% on it, you have the delta, you have the difference between those things that have as much debt as you can make more money off of. I think that's great in theory. You need to know you better to know if that is something that makes sense for you to do or not. Some people are great about that. Some people would be terrified having all the debt. So I know some people that say pay off your mortgage. I know some people that say have the biggest mortgage you can. It depends upon your end goal. difficult. It depends on the type of person you are. It depends upon all those things. But at the very least, knowing what debt you have, how much you owe at what percents on what things, that will help you figure out what debt is worth keeping, what debt is worth leveraging, what debt is worth getting rid of. The next one is automation in finance. So I talked about compound interest, and I talked about like automation as compounding time. Automation in finance, what I'm saying here is setting it and forgetting it. So putting in an automatic $100 a month that goes into a retirement account, putting in automatic amounts that get pulled for whole life insurance, putting in automation for things that come out to help you financially in the long term, every time, over time, nonstop. This is great. Sitting down with a really good financial advisor, sitting down with a really good life insurance salesperson can really help you figure out what automations you can put in place in your life that will help your finances get where they need to go. So really, I'm talking about this sort of in the macro of the different automations that you can put together, reminding yourself when this is going to come up for renewal with enough time to shop the rate for new car insurance, for new homeowners insurance. Like those things will become worth their weight in gold the minute you get those automations in place to trigger every year. The next one, the most common automation in finance, is auto payments. So you're going to save time by scheduling all of your bills to auto pay, as many of them to auto pay. Don't just forget about them. Make sure you know when they're going to renew, make sure you know when they're going to change, whatever. And it's crazy to me because if you pay your mortgage every 2 weeks instead of every month, or if you take your mortgage payment and you move it up a couple weeks, you can save years off the back end of your mortgage solely by making those payments faster. So there are some times where paying sooner is financially better for you, but with the credit card, you may want to not pay that until the last day that they will finance it with no interest. So think about your auto payments and putting them in the right place to save money, to have better cash flow, to not get hit with penalties. Like that becomes really good. So setting up your auto payments right can be worth its weight in gold. The next thing I want to talk about is smart spending habits. A lot of times, if you have less money, you actually spend more money. So you got to start thinking about what spending habits you can put in place that are smart, that are going to help you. If you don't spend a lot of money, then putting aside a fund, $100 a month, and then when the fund gets to $1,000, you go do something fun and you blow all of it. Putting that in place lets you know you can get some of your spending fun stuff out of the way without tanking everything else. If you are somebody who spends a lot and wants to spend less, then maybe the habit is like shopping at Costco. Maybe for you, it's saving up the money to be able to buy in bulk and pay less per item. And for some people, it's both. Some people, it's saving the money and then also having a fun fund to do. So think about what habits you can put in place. The next one I want to talk about is opportunity cost. So often we look at the cost of things. It will cost me $20 an hour to hire this person. It will cost me $200 to have somebody cut my lawn. This is the cost. Instead, flip it. Think about the opportunity cost. If I hire this person, what can I do with the time instead? If I buy this thing, what can I do with the benefit instead? Thinking about opportunity costs will help you realize what is an investment versus a burden. But you want to try to use this to your advantage, especially when it comes to hiring, especially when it comes to large investments. Ultimately, you won't know for sure until it's the end, but instead of just thinking about cost, think about the opportunity cost. Things have a cost and an opportunity cost. The easiest way towards this is avoiding financial scams, which is the next one that I want to talk about. There's going to be a lot of people that will try and scam you out of money. It is sending you, hey, your business needs to fill out this form. It costs X. We can do it for you for Y. It could be, hey, think you're doing a great job. Here's an award for you. It's this price. Just be aware of different financial scams versus financial risk. Putting money in the market and buying crypto is a risk. Be aware of the scams. There's going to be risk in everything that you do. It is fine to take risk. You will know how much risk you are willing to take, but make sure you're not scammed. There's all sorts of opportunities. And the more you have a great network of amazing financial people, the CPA, the bookkeeper, the financial advisor, the insurance salespeople, the easier it'll be for you to avoid scams because you can talk to them through it and they can connect you with other people and whatnot from there. The next one, here we are with my favorite one, buying back your time. So we talked about opportunity cost. I want to use it in a specific example. I pay $200 a month for my lawn to be cut. Would it be great to have the $200 back? Sure. However, it would take me several hours every week to do this. If my hourly rate is $750 an hour for some clients, $1,000 for other clients, it's not worth me spending a fifth of an hour on doing this to get it done versus them doing it. It's as simple as that. We can take that and multiply that into every area of your life. Every chore that you have to do, how much could you pay somebody to do it? How much time would that save you? What could you do with the time instead? And ultimately, do you like doing it? And then buy back your time by having all those things done. Moving on, our next one is to diversify. There's a time where you need to be all in on this one thing. And then at some point that becomes so risky and you have so many options that you want to diversify into other businesses. So really diversify your financial portfolio as soon as you can for the exact right amount. Diversification is something that you will never get right, but you need to diversify. Having some great financially knowledgeable people in your area will help you figure out when to diversify and what to diversify to. I'm diversified. I've got multiple businesses. I've got life insurance. I've got stuff in stocks, in bonds, in crypto, in mutual funds, in ETFs, in index funds. Like, some of it gets better results than others. Some of it gets terrible results. Those things are never the same year to year. That's the benefit of diversification. But between that diversification, I should have a pretty good flow with my compound interest of my investments over time. The next one's a little bit different. Die with Zero. It's a book. Highly recommend it. It was one of my top 10 books for 2024. The book talks about, in essence, you want to die with $0. He's not saying don't give anything to anybody else, but give it to them sooner. Give it to them when they can enjoy it. Give it to them when they need it, and then die with $0. So the sooner that you can do a lot of these, once in a lifetime events, the more health you have to enjoy them and the more time you have to enjoy them. That's my biggest takeaway from the book Die with Zero. Highly recommend it to everybody because all of us are going to die. A great life comes from incorporating those lessons into your day-to-day in the way that is the most helpful and beneficial for you. Doing fun things sooner, doing fun things that you can afford as soon as you can afford to do them. It's just amazing. It has properly changed my perspective on my life and helped me truly enjoy it that much more. The next one is building passive income with your business. When it comes to financials, on day one of my law firm, if not yours, it was just me. But you will need to think through the steps you need to take those steps towards taking your business from a job that you have where you work for yourself to slightly more passive. It's the stuff I enjoy doing. I love coaching people, obviously externally, but also internally in my firm. So the meeting helps me figure out where we have issues to help them see what their next steps are. And not that I know it and they don't, but like we talk together to come to those realizations. That passive income building in my business has allowed me to focus on the things that I genuinely enjoy doing, that I'm genuinely great at, while being better for everybody. My employees get to do the stuff that they're great at and that they enjoy doing. My clients get service from people that are super happy and super knowledgeable and have the time to address their cases the whole way through. It's an awesome concept, but it comes back to this financial idea of building passive income with your business step by step. The next one is monetizing your life. When you own a business, one of the easiest things that you can do is monetize the things you're already doing. I have to be very, very clear. Please, please, please do not lose sight of what I'm saying. I am doing what I want to do with the people that I do want to do it with and making money off of it. It is in that order. What I want to do with the people I want to do it with, and we're making money from it. This is not going to work if you are trying to put the money first. I am telling you to monetize your life, to do the things you're already doing, to do the things you enjoy doing, to do the things that you want to do with other people that can help your business. They could be clients, they could be referral sources, they could be potential clients. If you can't afford the best CPA in town, but you can take them fishing, that might be an opportunity for you to get the value that you need at a cheaper rate while doing something that you enjoy doing. So when I say monetize your life, it is doing fun things with great people and having it help your business. The next one, sort of similar to monetizing your life, which I just talked about recently, is spending money to make money. I want you to think about it though from the standpoint of networking. I want you to think about it from the standpoint of what are you already buying that could help your business? You can be spending money on hiring people to do their job for you and hoping you get cases. You can be spending money to support the people that you already do. You can be making referrals to the people that you already use. Like I tell people about the person who cleans our house or the company that cleans our house and office all the time because I think they do a great job and I want to help them and I want them to help other people and I want those people to free up their time to do more fun stuff, to potentially network more, to potentially send me more business. Like, it is crazy to me how much you can make all of this snowball into you getting more cases, more referrals, more business, more clients, more whatever by spending money. The next thing I want to talk about for financial tips is charitable giving. To give money away, you have to have extra income. I do not want you to give away the money that needs to go towards rent. I will tell you though that when you get to a surplus and you can give charitably, it makes you feel great. I am on the board for a local nonprofit because it makes me feel good. So whether you are giving your time, whether you are giving your money, these are a component of living a great life because it will help you meet people. It will help you see the impact that you can have on your community. It will help you see people that are in more need or help those who are more in need than you are. So it's a perspective shift while also helping the community, while also helping them, while also making you feel great. I cannot stress enough how much charitable giving, if it's money or if it's time, becomes a huge component of an amazing life. The more that I give away, the more that I get. The next thing when it comes to financial tips is treating yourself, having a free day. So there's a component of treat yourself day, which is that it is giving yourself grace. It is treating yourself the way you would for other people. If you would splurge on a gift for somebody else, sometimes you just got to splurge on a gift for yourself. You know you better than anybody else. If you want to live a great life, you need to be splurging here and there when you can on the right things. So whether that's a treat yourself day, whether that's a free day, whether that's committing to a massage, committing to a nice restaurant, committing to like the things that make life worth living, make sure those are in your plan as well. You may not be able to get them in your plan tomorrow if you're already running a deficit, but it's something to work towards. It's something to look forward to. It's an easy way to celebrate a small win when it comes to your finances. That's how you'll use finances to live a great life. Thank you.